welcome to my studio space. I'm trying to tie my fancy apron on here. It is April 7th, 2025. I am located in beautiful downtown Charleston, South Carolina, in my studio, Studio 3C, and I am painting this bird. You guys see that? That's kind of visible there. Just to kind of let you know what's happening. So I of course don't have my other bird paintings. If you've watched past videos, there was an example of a bird. Again, this size, this is like what is this? You guys know what size this is? Looks like it's a very good question. 3x5. It's a little smaller than 3x5, doesn't it? 2x4, maybe. Anyway, it's small. All right, those are inches, just in case. I'm not good enough to do the conversion. Apologies for not being able to convert it. So I would show you my palette, etc. down here, but I'm not. I'll try to show you the paints that I'm getting ready to use for this, and in the short time I have, what I'm going to try to do is give this little bird, no, it's nondescript, it's like a little songbird, I guess. It's based on what I want it to look like, so I'm really just kind of playing with, just a shape against, so it's purple against a yellow background. If you're into color theory, you can look this up, it's very easy. If you know anything, if you've heard of something called the color wheel, on the color wheel, basically it's made up of primary, secondary, and tertiary colors, 12 parts. It's getting a little wonkish on you guys, but if you know anything about the color wheel, there's something called complementary colors. And those of you that are way ahead of me right now, you already know where this is going. So violet and yellow. This is not pure yellow, this is not pure violet, but it's enough. They're opposite each other on the color wheel. So those of you that don't know what that means, if you haven't left yet, if you're still with me, that means it's going to theoretically make these colors kind of vibrate. Seriously, in your ocular area, all right? So you don't always have to do it like that, but anytime you put something, it could be, like this is like, basically that is the color structure for this. No bones about it. That is the color structure. So sometimes just in a painting you can have just it doesn't have to be perfect versions of the complementary colors next to each other in a painting, but just kind of having them next to each other, maybe in a focal area. So say like red and greens opposite each other, yellow and violet, you saw that, blue and orange, and then all around. Those are primaries and secondaries. Those are easy to kind of like remember, kind of. Okay, but that being said, it can add some spice to your images. All right, so this tiny brush, there it is. All right, and I'm going to paint the eye for this. It's Payne's gray. So Payne's gray, do I have it here? It looks like black. It's not. It's not black. Don't get me into mixing with black paint. I'm not saying not to. I'm just saying there's better ways to work. Payne's gray is like it's a dark gray, like the darkest gray. All right. You might say, well, wasn't that black? No, not exactly. It's a little bit richer, and I'm just going to kind of hold this up for you. And I'm really into, there's a method to this, by the way, and you might say, wait a minute, that's kind of cartoony. So I grew up, like I'm sure a lot of you did. I'm being very careful with this, I want to make sure. I usually don't, I like to kind of keep the small brush away from myself as long as I can, because once you start painting with a small brush, you get really particular about things. Back to this. All right, so I'm painting a pupil here. Actually, my glasses, this is so small. And I like it looking stylized, cartoonish, kind of references what I grew up on. You know, I like trying to work it. I'm trying to find a balance, all right, to having something like this. And I apologize, let me see if my light, this is just not right. Hold on. There we go. Does that help at all? Is that too bright? It's too bright. Too bright. I'll go back to this. All right. But it references that idea of just like characters, you know, animation, Saturday mornings, etc. Right? Those don't really exist like Saturday morning cartoons necessarily. I'm sorry if you're like, please, old man, don't tell me more about Saturday morning cartoons. I'm not. I'm just saying that's what, for me, nostalgia, you know, nostalgia I kind of get from that idea. Look how much, just like, well, one, now we got like a little eyeball in there. It's live, etc. Blah blah. But all right, the other thing I'm doing with the profile, if you look at my other work, I'm really into profile pieces where we just see like that one eye. Sometimes it's very flat. Sometimes it's kind of realistic. I mean, you know, understanding the anatomical things that go on there. But for me, this is really fascinating. It's not abstract, but it allows me to be a little contemporary. I think a lot of people just probably think, oh, you're just cartoony. There's a thought process behind it. There really is. So let's do this. Let's give this, you know, some wings or something. So I'm gonna set it here, and I'm gonna grab. Let's try to find something unique. See if we can do something kind of a little different. I'm trying to think what's different. Sorry that you have to look at my bald head while I do this. I don't know. Blue is interesting. It's interesting. Hold on. Let's do this. Oh, this is interesting. All right. Lighter purple. It's already mixed. I don't have to mix it. And actually, that's really kind of what I already have here. I'll put a little bit more on, and then I'm going to mix a little bit of Payne's Gray with it. So, and almost done. I'm trying to keep this to 10 minutes. What have we discussed so far? We've discussed the color wheel. We've discussed my theories on why I do eyes like this. Just my theory. All right, that's what I like to do. Now I'm going to get a little bit of purple. So I'm using a flat brush. Size for this is 6. Higher the number, bigger the brush. All right, and I'm just going to layer in some paint. I'm going to bring it up a little closer so you can see me do this. Oh yeah, one other thing I'm kind of doing too, which is kind of interesting to me, maybe you might be interested in it, audience, is that you can even see that light's just so poorly lit. You can kind of see it a little bit. Let me put something on here so it'll make more sense. I'm going to grab a little bit of that Payne's Gray I've got kind of working. Oh man, this too, if you can see that. So you can't, I've got this on my palette as well. It's burnt sienna. So burnt sienna is like a reddish brown, kind of interesting. I'm actually going to mix a little bit of it down here, and I'm just going to drop in just dabs of it. I'm going to clean off my brush just a little bit, just so you guys can see it, so I can actually work on it. I want to just push it right in that bottom part, and I'm going to pull up my brush interesting. And I'm cleaning my brush on my paper towel over here. And I'm just going to just lightly pull away. There's no paint on my brush right now, by the way. It's just, it's still a little dirty because I didn't do too much cleaning on it. I didn't stick it in water or anything to make it like wet. But I'm going to get it right when I'm leaving that white outline for myself so I can decide how I want that to go. I'm probably not going to leave it white, but I don't want to like change it too quick. A little bit of purple. I'm going to paint over top of that just a touch. Clean up some edges. Wipe my brush. Mix it with that sienna. So now I've got kind of like a slightly darker area down there. Oh, it's rough. That's okay. But it's starting to tint my bird just a little bit. I did say something unexpected. So let's give this bird a wing area so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to just take my flat brush. Distress this bird's bottom layer just a little bit. And let's give him the top part of his wings and actually see it start to take shape. Now I have a little bit of, again, that purple that I put on it earlier. This is interesting, I think. So the sienna that I'm using is kind of getting roughed in, or excuse me, mixing a little bit, and it's getting roughed in, but it's also mixing a little bit because that purple paint's still a little wet, even though it's acrylics. And I'm just going to tie off the edge of this and let it kind of fade into that background, or that body of my little bird here. So the sienna's doing a couple of things. One is helping me find, the nice thing about these characters, I can make them do whatever they want to, which is kind of fun. It, you know, and we keep talking about the sienna. So it's referencing my yellow-ish, goldish background, because it's kind of just giving it, I'm going to clean my brush with water this time. I'm going to grab a little bit of purple, that light purple, and hit this so it doesn't get away from me. It's a little wet. We'll let it kind of just drift down here. Start to tint my bird. So it's referencing the background because it's a similar, or at least it's a warm color. Am I making any sense? Hope I am. Bird's getting there. Just working on the body, or just roughing in some stuff. And I'm actually going to give my bird a little bit of that brown its beak. Interesting. I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of dripping down and in. It's a little messy. I think that's fine. I'll use that to my advantage. I'm gonna go back up and start lifting some of that color in. So, what do I do with these little birds? Besides paint them. Why am I painting little birds? That's a good question. I don't know. I think it might be just because I like birds. It's as simple as that. Check that out. Kind of interesting. So the wings sticking out. There's some issues with this guy. That's okay. Let's give him some little legs. Here we go. Can you see this? I don't know if you can see this. Just taking my flat. That's so bad. There we go. There it goes. Found it. Pretty cool. And, ooh, check this. Let's give his tail feathers a little bit of sienna as well. So sienna kind of became my unexpected color. Do you always have to have an unexpected color? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do I? I don't know. I like it. I like trying to find a color and challenging myself to find out what that color is. So I'm gonna make this other, well, I've really went past my time. So if you're still with me, I appreciate it. Got some little feet there. And let's do this. Let's give him a little bit of sienna on just his back area here. So it's pretty wet. See that I kind of dipped a little bit into my white. Now, from here, I might try to show some feathers or something a little bit later on, but I don't know. This, well, I've got you all here, that white area that I've got around this, I'm gonna take a little bit of yellow. I'm gonna do this one-handed, so maybe, I hope I've got this. Oh yeah, I do. Okay. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna take some yellow. I gotta be careful just because I don't want to get the wet purple in on this. Check it. Isn't that neat? So, do you always have to preserve like highlight areas? I mean, it's just probably not a bad idea to preserve them on canvas. You don't need to, but I think, especially with like acrylics, it's really hard to bring back white once you paint over it. Or you can add medium, you know, you can prime it, etc. But, you know, that takes time. And even with priming it, I mean, like you want to have a layer of paint that just separates from the layers that you're working on. Pretty cool. You know, so that being said, I mean, you can always, of course, bring back a wide area if you want to. I think, though, just in the terms of managing your canvas, in this case, white canvas for me, in terms of managing it for my little bird images here, let's see, I just mix a little bit of that. It's kind of interesting though, right? I wonder if I should mix a little bit more of that. Intensive. Oh yeah, preserve your whites. And another thing I should mention for the complementary colors, if you mix them together, they get a little kind of like brownish. So that's a way to kind of find like a dark, unexpected color in your piece without just using like dark brown. So I'm going to, this is a little bit of a dirty, want the eyes of these little birds to kind of be yellowish. So there's a touch of that on it. And give this. So let me do one more thing with this so you guys can see a somewhat almost realized version. I'm going to go through and try to add some kind of interesting textures, feathers, etc. with this little guy. Start trying to make it feel not as flat. But one last thing I want to do, so I want to take, this is yellow ochre. I mean, you call it gold. Sometimes that's what I call it for my students, just like gold. Do they need to have it called that? No. But especially if you're not used to some of these colors, it's a good way to remember them. Thanks. You're saying it wrong. I don't, you know, like I just want people to, well, I don't want to be as cliche and say, you know, I want to sound flippant about it, but I want, you know, not to be too stodgy. I mean, there's an academic way to come to this, of course, and if you're in college or etc., like you do need to understand, you know, proper kind of goals with this, with painting. But you know, it's okay to call yellow ochre gold, but it doesn't look like gold. Well, it's not yellow, right? It's got a little bit of warmth to it. Yellow by itself, you know, it's bright yellow, it can feel a little cold sometimes. Now I've got to be careful around my little feet here. I want there to be a glow around them, so I might let them dry and then go over top of it with some yellow. Almost done. I'm actually going to mix some yellow in here. So what have I talked about today? Oof, you tell me, all right? And I apologize for the lighting. I'm working on it, my friends. Every little bit, right? So I'm thickening up my paints. Well, yeah, what have we talked about? The color wheel. Birds. Painting things that, was that an apology? Painting things that have kind of a cartoonish look to them, maybe. Am I influenced by other people's styles? I don't know. Sure. Have I been around long enough to influence other people's styles? Maybe. Who cares, right? Who cares? All right, so this guy needs more work. Little purple bird, yellowish gold background. Hope you guys like it. Message me, etc. Follow my work. Love to see you guys. Take care. All right, bye.